Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about one of the most broken Foulborn items coming out of this patch. And that is the Foulborn Hand of Thought in motion. Now, when I first saw some of the new mods in the paste bin that got data mined right before patch, I saw this mod and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. But 1% accuracy per 25 int, not too good. There wasn't really a number attached, but I didn't really think that they would go ham. But I guess they did. So this is 5% accuracy per 25 int. So just real quickly, before we even get into why this is good, if we have like 3,000 in an endgame, that is among the lower ends. Let's say it's 2,500 to 3,000. Divided by 5, we're looking at 600% increased accuracy. Now, if you've never played an accuracy stacker before, let me show you why this is so goddamn broken. So the way accuracy stackers usually work is they have a ton of flat axes on the tree through these, through the suffix on the searching eye jewels and just abyss jewels in general, right? You can see what's going on here, a lot of flat. And then the biggest problem to solve is percentage. And they path around the tree, obviously take all the percentage that they can get, but it all ends at precursor emblems. These can have 12% increased accuracy per frenzy charge, and you can have this mod multiple times. So a mirror tier ring would look like either 36% increased accuracy or 24 with a +1 frenzy. Which one is better? Usually depends on the version. And these rings, depending on how played accuracy stackers are, can go up to multiple mirrors. The 24%er can range from, I don't know, 50 divines to 100 divines. And obviously the introduction of Calandra's Touch makes it a lot easier to build than back in the day. And this ring, you used to have between 7 and 10 frenzy charges depending on the version, but let's say 8. 8 is a pretty common number here. So with 8 times 24 per ring, that would get you straight up to, there it is, 192%. And that is like, this is like GG. If you've ever popped an accuracy stacker, it's very strong. The 24 is among the more budget versions, but if you have a GG ring, then it's like a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit of an insight in how just how broken this claw can be if you combine it with instacker. Now, how do accuracy stackers scale? First, they get a ton of added lightning damage per 200 accuracy. And to give you like a little bit of a perspective, in this pod right here, you can see that I currently have, Flicker Strike is just like an insert here. We're currently looking at 149,000 accuracy, which is a number that you can reach on this build. And if we say 149,000 divided by 200, you can see that you're going to get a ton of flat. Then we times 3.5 that because it is 126, and you're looking at 2,607 flat, which is quite a bit, I would say. The other huge scaler that accuracy stackers have are Jug's node right here, undeniable. 1% increased attack speed per 150 accuracy rating. In this build, this node straight up gives me 1,000% attack speed. However, let's get to the most obvious and the harshest downsides of these builds. If you think about in-stacking and you think about strength stacking, the biggest advantage they have is that with their scaling also comes inbuilt defenses, strength through life and block from the chest, and on int just scaling ES and evasion. And what this claw lets you do is incorporate both of them in one. And the reason this works is twofold. The first one is Shaper's Touch. This one gives you 4 accuracy per 2 int, so 2 per 1. So that comes out to 5,000 flat accuracy. If you don't know how much that means in terms of damage, that's how much. There's also +1 accuracy equal to your intelligence. And this one, if you tick it, you will not believe your eyes as well. This is the reason why this is so broken. You have so many scalers that just multiply with each other. You can see right here, this node here gives you 60% more damage. So that means the downside of no intrinsic tankiness scaling is done. You can reach a ton of ES with also a ton of evasion because we're doing the same as the instackers. We're just gonna convert our intelligence to evasion. So we have lightning flat damage scaling from your boots. We have attack speed scaling from Jug. We have percentage damage from your amulet and also from grafts. So there is a new mod this patch. If you didn't know, you can actually corrupt your grafts with a currency that makes it so your implicit either gets changed into a corrupted implicit or it gets deleted. It's a 50-50 chance. And there's some crazy mods there, including melee damage per 20 int. You can have this one twice. Enough said. You can also get +1 additional strike from the graft in general. A lot of people are picking these one up. They're already quite expensive. For a ton of builds, they're very useful, and you can have both at the same time. You also, like I said, fix your defenses with ES and evasion, and that is such a big deal for this archetype. Now, if you're wondering, okay, so the numbers look fantastic, right? But why is this one maybe more interesting than something like Instacker or Strength Stacker. It's not just because of the numbers. Strength Stackers and Instackers can both reach those numbers. It is that your damage comes in the form of attack speed, which means it's not just raw damage, it comes in the form of quality of life, faster whirl speed. You're going to be lightning fast. And this is why even through leagues of accuracy stacking not being that wanted, obviously, there were the whole strength accuracy stacker hybrids as well. But even throughout those leagues, people love this build, even if it's a little bit on the squishier side, because it's so goddamn fun because of the crazy attack speed. What this item means as well is now you're freeing up your ring slots for example, a helical ring, right? So now you can actually scale attributes. So in general, this combination just fits incredibly well. So numbers look good, competitive with some of the best scalers in the game. Where's the catch? The catch is quite simple. The fact that you have to use 2 claws. Now, there are actually upsides of using 2 claws. The first one is the instant leech mastery right here. This means that you're going to leech 20% of your ES. This node does not specify life, so you can still go CI and just grab a Storm Drinker, you're done. A lot of ES-based attack builds have to fight with this because if they're in the middle of things, you can't rely on your recharge at all. So yeah. That is kind of how you solve that, and since they nerfed the instant leech mastery, getting 20% instant leech is completely, utterly ridiculous. But going back to the biggest downside is, if you scroll through the list of usable gems with Claw, there is not that many left. There is Flicker Strike, which I'm going to try first. It is an acquired taste. I'm not sure I'm really going to enjoy it. We'll see, but it is extremely fast. And think about a Flicker Strike with this amount of attack speed. It sounds pretty juicy to me, but I'm not really a Flicker main, so we'll have to kind of figure that out. Now, there are skills like Lightning Strike, which are still good, by the way, in case you were wondering, and Molten Strike, which completely dodged the last nerf. The only thing that got nerfed is Molten Strike of the Zenith. Molten Strike, damage-wise, is still incredible. The problem with these skills is mostly the graft, right? The graft specifies melee damage, so only the melee part of your skill would actually get that. It's also harder to get crit multi on jewels, although you can go for elemental ones, so I guess that's not a big deal. But this one is the biggest one. And then I was looking through some of these skills that I've never tried before. I read like Frenzy of Onslaught or Dual Strike, Double Strike, the skills that have been lost to time. And even after they got buffed in the melee patch, it is ridiculous that these are still worse than Viper Strike of the Mamba, even if you just used Mamba without the poison part. This is by far, this has like almost 900% damage effectiveness, and the others hover around 500 to 700. So yeah, I guess some of the downsides is if you want to use the grafts, you could also not use it. You're going to lose between 20, I think you're going to lose like 30% of your damage or so. You can still go for stuff like Lightning Strike or Molten Strike, which I'm also going to try. But if you can go full melee, you can make full use of the setup. Oh, one thing at the end, another upside of this league, a buff to this, is actually Bloodlines. Now, you need to take Undeniable. Whether you go Berserker or you go Chieftain, you need to have Undeniable. It gives you 1000% attack speed or so, right? So what that means is you either go Jug and you can get another Forbidden Flesh, or you go Berserker and you get this as a Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame. The problem with Berserker is it's actually not that great. So you can get Ancestral Fury, for example, if you're Flicker Strike. You already have so much attack speed that this does absolutely nothing. Aspect of Carnage, damage is not the issue with the build. You actually don't want to get less tanky. And Gore Dancer, well, yeah, if you have this, you don't really need it. So that's kind of an issue. You can go Chieftain and go Valakos, then you're kind of dried up, right? But this patch, you can actually go a pretty efficient, I would argue, 3-pointer with Juggernaut and then grab a few different things. I think the most interesting one is Ferric Will. It gives you 80% increased accuracy, 120 crit, and take no extra damage from crits, which is actually quite a big deal for this build because you can't really get it anywhere. But that's about all I got for this video. This is going to be my next build, and I'm going to try a few different skills, and I'm going to report back in a few days. Going to level it today over on twitch.tv/Palsteron. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one, having that amount of attack speed, getting back to Accuracy Stacker after having not played it for quite a while. And I think this sort of scaling could be something that is competitive with Instacker, Strength Stacker, Mana Stacker, all the top builds. I'm very surprised they let this through, and I'm also surprised that people aren't playing this more already, but I think it's because Accuracy Stacker did kind of get a bad rap over the last few leagues, especially since it got nerfed in a ton of ways, but this really invigorates the whole archetype in my opinion. But enough now, I gotta get back to leveling. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe you're gonna try something out on your own. I'm gonna update you guys, of course, and with that being said, since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.